Hello everybody, Beth's Golden here. Today I'm going to make a little Halloween card using this stamp set. It's from the True Love series with Brutus Monroe. It's actually part of the Monroe line and the name on it is Halloween. And basically what this is it's a line of stamps that Brutus Monroe has out about this sweet little couple that goes on different kinds of adventures together. So I thought it would be fun to make a sweet little card for Halloween using this set. And I actually am going to use the whole set. So the first thing that I did, just to speed up time, was I created my card base with these little stars. I actually cut down a piece of black cardstock down to size, an A2 size, which is 4.25 by 5. And then I took a piece of premium gloss stock paper and I cut that down about a ½ inch off. So I did it 3.75 by 4.5, I believe was the base. And then I took some alcohol ink from my stash and created kind of a nighttime spooky type sky. And then I took, so that's the card base right here. That's what we're gonna do our stuff on. And then I took these two little stamps and I used the suede surface ink and I randomly stamped them all over. I walked away from this and did not have time to heat set it, so I thought I was going to need to heat set it a little bit because it is on a smooth glossy cardstock and surface ink does adhere to anything. Sometimes to speed up the heating process I do go ahead and heat set it because it takes a little bit to dry on something like this, but I didn't do that and it's not coming off, so I'm really happy with that. And then from there I created a little tag with the sentiment, wishing you a happy Halloween. I'm sorry, that's not quite upright. Wishing you a happy Halloween. What I did was I used this mixed media art tape. I cut a section off, I painted it black, waited for it to dry. Then I used the sentiment with alabaster pigment ink. And I stamped the sentiment and trimmed it down and gave it a tail. So that's going to go on the stamp on this as well, probably down here, and I can do that right now. What's cool about this mixed media art tape is it's self-adhesive, so I don't have to, obviously, because it says tape, right? I don't have to worry about adhering it. And so, or putting adhesive on the back. So I'm just going to put this down, get my sentiment ready. So my card base is now ready to go. And I ended up taking the little image and I cut it out and colored it in with some of the new alcohol ink markers. They are Style File Marker. I got them at Brutus Monroe. $3.50 a piece. I love them. They're awesome. So, yeah. I did the background with a couple different grays. I think the grays that I used on this were these 3 grays. And then I colored in him and her. And I just used the Studio 7-1 colored pencil set. So that's what I did to get this in. Oh, and I also used the sunflower alcohol ink color around the edge to kind of make it pop a little bit. It is Halloween night, so I want it to look night. I'm not scared about it, you know, being dark per se. So I'm going to set this aside so that we can go ahead and move on to adding some more fun stuff to our card. Oh, and I stamped that image. Since I was using the alcohol ink, I'm going to get questions on what kind of ink I used. I used the Detail Ink Raven, and it is fantastic. I mean, it totally worked, right? So, anyway, there we go. So let me just set this aside. And we're going to move on. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to make some stars for the background of the card, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Foundations dies in the stars. I already have my 4 that I want to use pulled. We're going to work in actually odd number, but I have 3 other little stars that I'm going to put on that I'm not die cutting. I'm going to use the iridescent Deco foil on this with the Aztec Stars embossing folder. And I'm going to do this all on the Deco foil foam adhesive. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This does not require heat. So if you don't have a laminator, this is really the best option for you. I'm going to go ahead and first die cut out my stars onto the Deco foil adhesive, the foam adhesive first. Here's the thickness of the foam squares, and here's the Deco foil foam. So that's why it's able to go through my die cut, my Cuttlebug machine fine, is because it's so thin. The majority of my scraps. We'll see how much I can get, and it looks like I can do it right on. That one I might need to use something. So I have that laid out. I'm going to run it through my Cuttlebug plate and make sure that you have the cut going down, laying flat against the C plate, so it's going to leave an impression in the C plate. I mean, if you don't mind getting cuts on your B plate, then go ahead and do that. But I just like to do it this way. Then I'm just going to run this through. Doesn't really matter which side of the foam that you know, get the die cuts on, because both sides are the same in that they both have adhesive on them, because of the purpose in which this was created. So I'm going to leave that here for just a minute because I'm going to need it again. But as you can see, it came out really well. And there's even some pretty little stitches around the edges, which I love. So I die cut everything out first, and now we're going to add the foil. So to add the foil, what we need to do is we need to pull out a sheet. Now, some people go ahead and cut down the size they think they're going to use. I've done that in the past, but what I like to do is I just like to strictly put it directly on the sheet because I use less of it and I really want to, you know, keep it and save it. So you're going to want to make sure that you put it down. I flip mine over like this, and then I adhere it to this side, the dull side, the side that's not going to show. So you want the glossy, shiny side to, I'll show you. And like right here, I didn't get that tip in, so I'm going to have to go over that again, which is totally fine. But the side that I want to be seen is the side that is going to go over the image, over your little die cut. And this definitely looks dull, and like it doesn't look as shiny as this side. So in real life, so you'll be able to tell the difference. This is the hardest part of this process, is just figuring out what side to adhere to the Deco foil. I messed it up the first time. I was using transfer gel and I put on the wrong side and I kept sending it through the laminator and it wasn't sticking, and I'm like, what the heck? And then it's like, oh, I'm using the wrong side. So just make sure you get that right and you'll be good. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to really rub it on there and smooth it out. Now, the pack does come with some parchment paper that I am going to keep because I'm using their Deco foil as well, and I can send that through the laminator. But it does state that if this doesn't take, to go ahead and just run it through the laminator with some parchment paper, but I haven't had that problem with this foil. It sticks really nicely for me. So let's go ahead and take this one off first. Ta-da! Isn't that beautiful? And then I can go and just get that little corner that didn't quite get and just clean up the edges if I need to. Now, something that I love about this is there is texture in it. If you bend it up, it'll actually almost look like a fox type leather deal. And so that to me is super cool. And I picked up more right there because I didn't have it covered. So, very forgiving. Boom. 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 All right, and I'm going to actually keep this. I can use it again, and then there's some really cool stuff that you can do to use to reverse these negative images. So don't throw it away. Totally save it. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my Aztec Stars. Yeah, I'm making sure that's the name of it. Aztec Stars embossing folder to emboss these little stars. And I'm actually going to run it through once, and then I'm going to go back over it again because I really want to make sure that that image is nice and embossed in there. I actually have an older Cuttlebug, and it works really well. Some of the new Cuttlebugs, from what I understand, don't have very good pressure. So keep that in mind, how much pressure your machine actually has. And then here are the stars. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? So it totally worked. And it didn't hurt the foil or anything. So once the foil's on there, you are good to go. So there you go. All right, now we're going to go ahead and just start to assemble this card. Cool thing is, since it's an adhesive back, I do not have to worry about putting down adhesive. It's just going to work. So I've adhered my little cute stars to the card, and now we're going to go ahead and put our cute little sweet image in there of the true love. You probably don't need as much as I'm using. I love these things, and I tend to get overly excited. And the reason why I'm not just adhering it is because there is a little bit of dimension with this, with the Deco foil adhesive covered foam stars. So there would be a wrinkle, and I think that this would just be really cute like this. I'm going to go ahead. I only have 4 stars. I prefer to have 7. I like to work in odd numbers. So I'm going to add some little stars from my stash. Okay, and I want to play with some sequin. I'm not sure if I'm going to add it or not. because that's looking pretty good to me. We might be done. But I do have some fun gremlin sequin that I thought would be really cool on this because of the color. But we might be done. We might be done. I really like just the 3, so I'm going to go ahead and do those. There we go. Cute little wishing you a happy Halloween. This is something great for my mom. She's a preschool teacher and she doesn't really like scary Halloween stuff. So I think she could appreciate this because this is just sweet. Anyway, make sure you guys check out the Brutus Monroe this week because they're doing a whole bunch of fun stuff with the Deco foil, as well as Halloween and fall inspired projects. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. And find me on Instagram under Betz Golden, B-E-T-Z Golden. I do a lot of pictures there of projects and cards and things that may not make it onto my blog or my YouTube channel. And then of course, please go over and subscribe and check out my blog, Scrappy Cafe blogspot.com, scrappycafe.blogspot.com. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. And until next time, happy crafting.